Welcome everyone. My name is Jana Maydal and I serve as the managing editor for the Substance Moms writers team as well as a contributing author. And I am so excited to introduce this devotional entitled God's Promises, Our Hope today because I really believe that God has a word for you. It's inspired by Isaiah 43, so it is not about Isaiah 43. But what we did was we extrapolated key words about God's character and who he is, who he says we are, and about our motherhood from Isaiah 43. So before I get into my devotional for today, God is a Gatherer, I just wanted to kind of unpack why does this matter? Why even talk about it? I mean, some of you, maybe you have walked with Christ your whole entire life. You know the truths, you sat in the pews, you know exactly what I might even say, but do you really believe it? And some of you, you're a baby Christian. Maybe you're new, maybe you've never heard of this before, and so that is equally important. And I know that for my writers, when you have to write about something or even speak about something, it really challenges you to think about if you really believe it to be true. Do you really believe that God is faithful in the fire? Do you believe that he will carry you to the other side? Do you believe that you are chosen, seen? Do you believe that you are precious to him? Do you believe that your motherhood can be simple? Come on, somebody. I didn't know that that would even pop up, and one of my writers wrote about it, and I was like, yes, my motherhood can be simple. So today I talk about God being a gatherer, and I was inspired by Isaiah 43 verses 5 through 6 in the New Living Translation, so I'm going to read that to you. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will gather you and your children from east and west. I will say to the north and south, bring my sons and daughters back to Israel from the distant corners of the earth. And that word gather just leapt up. He is a gatherer. As a mom, that's encouraging, but as a child of God and a woman, that is so encouraging because it's just scooping everybody in. My child that maybe will fall from God, he's going to find them. He searches for that one, right? He leaves the 99 to go for the one. He's going to scoop them in. And so when I was thinking about how to tell a story about this, I thought of my good old Grandma Colvin, German Catholic. She had big arms. She had 8 kids. She could stretch a pound of beef like it was nobody's business. And every time I would approach her, which was usually once a year, those big arms would just scoop me in and squeeze me so tight. And I always kind of approached it all right, Grandma, I knew it was coming. I was excited for it, looked forward to seeing her, but I also was a little hesitant, a little tentative. And I think that sometimes that's how we approach God. I think we yearn for him. We want his arms around us, but we're not sure if he is who he says he is. Do we really believe that? And so my devotional today kind of walks us through that. And I really encourage you to read the whole of Isaiah 43 first before you go through each of these days, just so you have a foundation about what's going on. Highlight words that jump out to you and cling to those as you walk through this. So as you move through, you're going to have 10 days of who is God. Okay, I already mentioned some of those words earlier. After that, you're going to move into who am I? Because if we know who God is, doesn't that directly inform who we are? And I feel like our culture, it's constantly talking about what is your calling? What is your purpose? When you're in the throes of motherhood and you're wiping butts and noses and Cheerios are flying all over the place in your van, come on. You're like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Okay, and again, we're getting back to the basics because God informs directly who we are. And then that informs our motherhood. So the final 10 days are about what is motherhood. And I mentioned motherhood is simple. Motherhood is eye-opening. Motherhood is fun, all these different things. And so we really hope that you do this in community because the heartbeat of this is that not only are you going to draw closer to Jesus, but you're going to draw closer to each other. So the reflection questions are written for not just spiritual depth and growth, but just so you can get to the core of who you are and share that with others. So some of the questions are, what were you like as a teenager? I don't know if I would always want to talk about that, but you know what? In a group of women, I think that's important. You guys need to know what I've been through and some of the mistakes I've made as a teenager. Not only who I am, but so we can even talk about that as moms. And what if our kids do some of the same things we did, right? I think about that all the time. Please, Jesus, have it not be so, right? So really, they are meant to just have you grow deeper together. And of course, you can do this by yourself. You can do this virtually, even on Zoom too. But again, we really encourage you to grab some mamas, even if you don't know them very well, and walk through these 30 days together, hand in hand, as you get closer to Jesus in the whole process. We love you, and we are praying for you.